Hi, in our last episode, we looked at when one can be arrested without a warrant. In this episode is the next big question. What is a lawful arrest and what makes an arrest unlawful? I am the student barrister and we are diving into the difference between a lawful arrest and an unlawful arrest. Let's look at this. What is a lawful arrest? A lawful arrest is one that is carried out in line with the Constitution and the laws of Ghana, particularly the 1992 Constitution and the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960 Act 30. A lawful arrest must meet these conditions. 1. The officer must have legal authority to arrest. That is, a police or an authorized person can issue an arrest. 2. The arrest must be based on reasonable suspicion or observed crime. So there should be a suspicion, a reasonable suspicion, before the arrest can be carried out. 3. You must be informed at the time of the reason for your arrest, clearly and in your own language or in a language you understand better. What we mean here is that you must be told the reason for your arrest. You must be informed why they are arresting you in a language that you understand before they can issue that arrest. And last one, you must be brought before a court within 48 hours under Article 14 clause 3 of the Constitution. So within 48 hours of your arrest, you must be brought to court. We see a lot of people are arrested and they stay in the cells for more than 48 hours. We shall look at the legal implications in that and the steps that you can take if you are a victim of this. I've always reminded you, this is only for educational purposes, not a legal advice. And that if you need a legal advice, I advise you see a legal practitioner in your jurisdiction. In the case of Tuffuor versus Attorney General 1980, the court emphasized that any action infringing on liberty must be grounded in law. What is an unlawful arrest then? An arrest is considered unlawful if 1. The officer has no legal authority to arrest. 2. There is no reasonable cause or suspicion. There is no cause for the arrest. There is no suspicion for your arrest. Then that particular arrest can be classified as unlawful. Next, there is no reason, you are arrested in bad faith or for personal vendettas. Next, you are not informed of your offense. So at the time of your arrest, the officer that's arresting you does not tell you what you have done that has called for the arrest. Then that arrest is unlawful. When you are detained beyond 48 hours without being taken to court, it's an unlawful arrest. So after your arrest, within 48 hours, you must appear in court. If you don't appear in court, it's an unlawful arrest. So let's look at this example. If a police officer arrests you because you refuse to give them money or because you look suspicious without evidence, that is unlawful. So if a police officer asks for money and you don't give the person, you don't give the officer and the officer arrests you, it's an unlawful arrest. If the police officer, for any reason, personal reason, he hates you for whatever, probably you might have met the person, something might have, happened between you two before, and based on that, the police officer arrests you without a reasonable suspicion, then that arrest is unlawful. Fast forward, let's look at Article 14 clause 5 of the 1992 Constitution. You have the right to compensation if you are unlawfully arrested or detained. So if you are unlawfully arrested or you are detained, you can seek for compensation, and we shall look at that. In the case of Kweku Mensah versus the Republic 1998-99 SCGLR 123, the court condemned unlawful detention as a breach of constitutional liberty. A lawful arrest respects both your freedom and your dignity. An unlawful one violates your rights and can be challenged in court. In our next episode, we will look at your rights during and after arrest, including what to say, what not to say, and when to call your lawyer. Follow the Student Barrister on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere, all social media handles. The Student Barrister. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. It is not legal advice. If you need a lawyer in your case, kindly contact a legal practitioner in your jurisdiction. Thank you very much.